Alright guys, I'm here with Nick, and he works here, and this is the first time he's on camera. I haven't really interviewed a lot of people here except for Sam because he just loves the camera. Robert hates the camera, and Justin, he just does his thing. Nick, how long have you been working here?
I've been working at the Aquarium Co-Op for probably just right around 6 months now.
6 months? Oh, we have a customer. Well, we'll resume this in a bit. Alright, I'm here with Nick. He's been an employee here at the Aquarium Co-op. He let me film him today, which is a pretty big surprise. So, 6 months here.
Yeah, 6 months.
Do you like it?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Gotta be the first question, right?
Oh yeah, right?
And this is not just for the camera stuff.
Oh, I really do. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a dream job here. Yeah.
So, we were talking earlier before a customer came in. It was kind of pretty much fate. You helped move in some stuff a long time ago.
Yeah, I popped in on day one of the opening, and I think they were still kind of putting stuff up. Like the whole shelving system that you see in the back behind the camera here, that wasn't in yet, but he had like a rack system. We put in the big giant tank up front that Hank was in, which is the old puffer.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
So what's your favorite thing about working here?
I
Would
think
it be the people?
Yeah, probably be retail side. I've always been retail jobs. I like being the forefront, customer service. I've always been like a customer service rep at my previous locations. So
yeah,
easy transition for me.
Really good with working with people, and the way he helps people, it's pretty simple. Like how Corey helps people online, he puts it in pretty much layman's terms where people can understand, and I think that's pretty freaking important.
I want to make people know that we don't need a PhD to work here.
We don't need a PhD.
No.
What's your favorite fish? Do you keep any fish?
I do. Downsized recently, just moved, so I'm only down to 2 tanks now. Just believe it or not,
Raise your voice a little bit.
Pretty low for.
There you go.
For at the home show there. But I'm into like kind of the oddball fish. I like goldfish, like knife fish, mormyrids, things like that.
It's just a weird combination of what he likes, because
I like boring and cool fish at the same time.
Yeah. I think your most top fish would be goldfish.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I've always
Yeah.
been into goldfish. Bring them at home. Got a couple ponds, so definitely that's my bread and butter stuff at home.
All right, so on the down low, what's the worst part about working here?
I don't know. Some of the cleaning things kind of get a little monotonous, but like vacuum in the morning is a little boring, but you got to get that done in about 10 minutes. So other than that, everything else kind of feels tranquil. I like it. Nothing really bad to complain about. Just some of the monotonous cleanings, I guess, is the only kind of issue there.
Are you surprised about how much publicity and amount of calls we get from people around the country?
Yeah. And it blows me away. This is like my local fish store. I've been shopping since before. I really knew about the YouTube channel. Believe it or not, I didn't really find out about it until probably like 2 years ago. This was just where I got my fish, and then all of a sudden, I just saw Corey's face on the internet, and now, you get people that come in, and everybody expects Corey to be in here.
Yeah.
It's like, I definitely get a lot of foot traffic talking about him. I'm surprised. I think the farthest I've had someone like travel, to actually come in here is like Myanmar, India. So someone come from there. Yeah,
wow.
Someone step in. Can't buy anything, but
yeah, they walk around. Some guy came here from Maui today, so
definitely get people in from around. It's not just Seattle people. So.
Yeah, so when they're like flabbergasted that they're here, we're just like, oh, it's another fish store, we just
every day.
Yeah. So speaking of all the tedious tasks and everything, I'm gonna take you guys off the tripod, and we're gonna walk around the store, and I'm gonna show you what it takes to run the fish store as an employee. So let's get to it.
Plug the vacuum in here, kind of roll her up and down, all around to get underneath everything. Corey likes to shop clean, stock some shelves, falling over here, fill up some food. Like tomorrow morning we'll have some guys to put in here. Just kind of gets everything ready to go for the morning. Then kind of walk down, make sure all the fish are doing good.
Yeah, what we call it the death walk.
Yeah,
right?
So we'll see if there's any, croakers up at the top or anybody that's not looking super great. We kind of throw in back and give medications to. So pretty generic. Usually, hopefully you don't see a whole lot. If something's going on like that, it's probably some sort of municipal water supply thing. Make sure everything's looking good, and then we start hammering down on scrubbing. It's every day. We're getting our arms in there and cleaning. So we've got our little Lee's specimen container here filled with salt water, non-iodine. And then we use the little aerogel scrubby pads, these little guys here. Same stuff that like astronauts use to insulate the shuttles. And we just let them sit in the salt water, kind of agitates the algae a little more and gets it easier to scrub off. So we get down in there, hit the fronts, and then get the sides. If there's anything real stuck on, we'll get like a razor blade and go up and down. Just make sure everything's looking real good. So we don't really miss anything here. At least we try not to.
How often do we clean the sponge filters here?
Yeah, we bring those out, every couple weeks. I would say, it's kind of staggered. So we're doing a few every day. I would say, it's not like we're doing the same amount every time. It's one of those things where, we come in and this one looks nasty, we'll swap it out. And then if it gets really gross, like this guy's probably kind of getting there, we'll take him out and put some hydrogen peroxide on there, get all the black beard and stuff off. And then we'll put a new one on, and while the other one recycles. So yeah, we'll do that every once in a while. Make sure that none of the Java ferns are looking a little rotted. Replace anything there that needs.
Those look good though.
Yeah, these look pretty good. Want to make sure that we trim some leaves every once in a while, make them look spick and span. Everybody here is looking pretty healthy right now.
Except for that black tank over there.
Yeah, this one.
So what's the process when we turn off the light?
Yeah, so this is what we call the no-go zone. Right now I got some like minor velvet issues going on. Pretty easy to take care of, but we don't want to sell anything out of there just for liability. So we'll shut that light off. Make sure we salt the tank, put some ICX in, get the healthy regiment going, keeping everybody spick and span in there. So
we're gonna pause for a second while we answer the phone here, and then we'll get right back into the tour.
Do it. Well, thank you for calling Aquarium Co-op. This is Nick. Alright, so this is our quarantine room here. So this is where we kind of receive all the newcomers that come in here. We usually try to put the tetras on top. We'll actually number the tanks here because cardinals are kind of our bread and butter in the shop here. We go through, on average like 30, 40 of those a day. So you can see here we got a little number written on the tank. That's going to be the fourth one we pull out. But everything comes in right away. We float them for like a good 10, 15 minutes. Drop them in, put the ICX, erythromycin, and general cure in. We saw it on our website. It's called the Co-op Trio. Put those in there. We'll get in here every once in a while and gravel back, at least before newcomers come in, just to make sure there's no leftovers from anybody prior.
And how long do they stay in here?
Anywhere from, it kind of depends. If we're getting something in that's super delicate, we'll let them sit here for a little longer, but the average, I would say the average, vacancy back here is going to be about 7 days. Alrighty, so this is our kind of plant corner here. So you can see we got our 640 breeders here. As far as like receiving plants when they come in these big boxes, kind of shipped flat rate. So we make sure we kind of go through everybody, get all the rough guys out of there, and only put the good stuff out for the people. For all of our nubious plants, we'll pull the rhizomes a little bit just to make sure that those are kind of ready as a display. We want to make sure that everybody knows that rhizome has to be kind of floating on top. And we'll get in here and trim any kind of grody leaves like these ones here. Probably get in there tonight and do those before we close up. As far as like bagging these up, we'll float them. If customer asks for some water, we'll put some of that in there, but usually it's going to be a dry bag. It's just a little easier to transport them that way. And we dose all these tanks are on an auto dosing system. So down here on the bottom, we have a really high quality auto doser system that kind of automatically does our 4 pumps of both Easy Green, Easy Iron, and the Easy Carbon accordingly. Depending on the high light, low light, and kind of medium light tanks. So the bottom ones here being the high light, and those are actually running a CO2 system as well.
It's just that bottom one with CO2?
Just this bottom one here. So all these other ones, we've got 3.0s and Stingrays on there to kind of keep everybody happy.
So what does it take to service these tanks? Do we service them?
Yeah, we'll service them probably once a week. We get in there and do a heavy service, but as far as every day, it's going to be scrubbing just like the main wall. But what we'll do here is we'll move all the plants over onto one side, or we'll just take this whole rack out and get in there and get all of the leftover rock wool and detritus out. We'll bring out the sponge, the intake sponges on the hang-on backs, and then every once in a while we'll get around in here and clean out those aquiclears. We usually kind of like to let those guys get a little grimy in there with all that bacteria. Since these tanks are pretty light bioload, you can kind of let things fester for a little longer. We got a few SAEs and stuff in there to kind of keep everybody trimmed up and clean so no algae grows. But pretty straightforward in these ones.
And there's another phone call.
Back to the phones. Alrighty, so now we're going to kind of walk through the feeding process. Usually we do this when we have some downtime. It's not something we try to do when customers in the shop because Want to make sure to bring the fish forward, but we want to make sure the tanks are clean too. So when we have some downtime, we'll usually do like the frozen cyclops or brine shrimp. We'll do bloodworm every once in a while, but that's going to be kind of a more specialty treat thing, you know, if we have something that wants a little bit more high protein. So basically, we'll just do a cube or two in each one. So
and we're feeding the black Emperor tetras.
Yeah, brand new to the shop. Usually we have the regular ones. This is kind of the new color morph that's floating around out there. But it takes them a minute to sense that. Oh, there they go. Thought they were going to be camera shy for a moment. If there's anything kind of specialty, you know, need some sinking food, like I know every once in a while we'll go through on the tanks with the autos and we'll do some green beans or zucchini in there just to kind of make sure everybody gets their greens too. But for the most part, it's going to be kind of brine shrimp and cyclops. That's going to be our main source of food here.
So what's your favorite food to feed?
I really like the cyclops.
That's my favorite.
This is my favorite one. I think that it's going to be, you know, it's small enough where a fry can eat it. So, you know, if you've got a lot of live bears, like I do a lot of platies at home in all my tanks, it's just kind of a great food for everybody. Packs on the pounds. I find that, you know, if you get little baby fish, you know, fry, like guppy fry, it brings them from 0 to hero real quick. So I think it's just all around one of those super easy, convenient foods to have on hand. And it goes, you know, a little bit, lasts a long time.
Nick wants the black Emperor tetra.
Yeah.
Now, why these guys?
They're just different, man. They're something I hadn't seen before, or at least like not regularly. I just dig the solid black conformation. They got like you can sex these ones by the color of their eye. So the males have the bright blue eyeball. Females are going to be a little greener, a little bit smaller. But just overall, kind of a cool oddball tetra. I don't see them every day.
So obviously we spend a lot of money here, working here, and you know, you gotta be
efficient. It feeds the obsession.
Yep. I work here occasionally. I've been working here more and more lately, but I find it to be awesome. I love dealing with the customers, and whenever they watch our channel, they let me know, and I actually get to meet them, and I think it's a really cool thing. So if you like the video, if you want to see more of this, let me know down below in the comments, and well, till then, I'll see you in the next one.